I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.
And the University of Redlands Bulldogs. Trinity and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and fans. We request your cooperation in supporting the student athletes and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We appreciate your cooperation in creating a safe and positive game environment. Before player introductions, ladies and gentlemen, please rise, if able, and remove your hats to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to the campus of Trinity University in the heart of beautiful San Antonio, Texas. It is March Madness time in the Alamo City, and we are ready to kick it off with the Cowgirls and the Bulldogs. That's Hardin-Simmons and Redlands, and this 5:30 p.m. tip-off. I'm Brian Yanselson, joined by Reed Rosales, and we are so excited to bring you all the action.
Yeah, it is definitely exciting. Hardin-Simmons and Redlands, two very interesting teams to make a very interesting matchup. Redlands coming out of the SCIAC from California, and Hardin-Simmons not having to go all that far away from Abilene.
The Cowgirls representing the American Southwest Conference, the Bulldogs, as you said, the SCIAC, also known as the Southern California Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. And the centers are ready to get us going. That is Hannah Jerrier on the Tiger for the Bulldogs. That's Natasha Blizzard for the Cowgirls. And it is dancing time in San Antonio. Here we go. Bulldogs win the tip. Starting five for the Bulldogs. You already heard Jerrier. There's Aaliyah Anderson with the ball. Gets it over to Cheyenne Pakalinawan. Have Alyssa Downs as well as Colby Zurich. As the shot clock reaches single digits for the Bulldogs on their first possession of the game. Here's Aaliyah Anderson, who will draw the whistle on the first play of the game.
Yep, and if you're Redlands, you know how good of a free throw shooting team that this Redlands team is.
First personal, first team foul.
So just 29 seconds into this ball game, and Aaliyah Anderson's first free throw is good. The first year from Oceanside, California. One of two freshmen starting for the Bulldogs, and they're alongside three fifth-year seniors. A very interesting and dynamic mix for Coach Rich Murphy, as Anderson misses the second, so Redlands up 1-0, just 30 seconds in. For Hardin-Simmons, Paris Kaiser, Hallie Edmondson, Paris Palmer, Natasha Blizzard, and Samantha Tatum, who has the ball right now, is fouled.
Personal foul, Redlands. 42, Hannah Jerrier.
This is not the pace either team wants to play at. These two teams want to run, and they want to score. We have two of the best offenses in the country right here in CalGuard Gym. Paris Kaiser in possession of the ball. Turn in the corner and uses the glass to her advantage, then gets a little aid from the rim as well. So Hardin-Simmons up 2-1. A minute gone by in San Antonio. Here's Jerrier, guarded by Natasha Blizzard, decides to take her on, now drops it off to Alyssa Downs. In the post right now, looking for some help. Drops it off. Long pass to Pakalinawan. She's going to have to go. It'll be Anderson again late in the shot clock. Drops it off to Jerrier. And her jump shot is buried.
And Hardin-Simmons looking to bounce back after an early exit in the ASC tournament to a team that's also in this pod, UT Dallas.
And speaking of UT Dallas, there is the transfer from the University of Texas Dallas, Paris Kaiser. Back and forth we go, and that is what we expect throughout the evening. Two very evenly matched squads who come in very different ways, as you already highlighted a little bit, Reed, and we'll get to all the facts and figures as we go along. Here's Pakalinawan, loses the dribble, gets it over to Anderson. Anderson driving right. Here's Jerrier, over to Pakalinawan. The three is good.
Great three by Pakalinawan. She is a key contributor to this Redlands offense.
Averaging 11 points a game, puts the Bulldogs up, and the turnover forced by Redlands gets the ball right back to them. Good look at Colby Zurich, the other first year in this lineup, who hands it off to Pakalinawan. A Redlands roster who is hungry for an NCAA tournament win. Alyssa Downs trying to make something happen off the dribble. Zurich was begging for it, but Blizzard there to take it away. Paris Palmer leading the charge up the court, finds Kaiser, who faked the three, now driving. The dump off to Blizzard. Can she get a hold of it? Finally does, and is headed to the line.
And if you're Redlands, right now, they are a very explosive offense. Redlands has been able to go on great runs throughout the season, but they also can have a little bit of a tendency to give up runs as well. This Redlands offense can go to the highest of highs, and we'll see if they can do that today.
First free throw, good for Natasha Blizzard, the senior from Belton, Texas, and you're going to hear that a lot. Seniors across the board for the starting five. Coach Whitehead feels lucky to have such an experienced squad, and she is hoping that they will lead her to the promised land. Game tied up at 6, 3 minutes gone by in San Antonio. Redlands and Hardin-Simmons. Zorich back out to Alyssa Downs. A deep three for Downs. Off the rim, no good. We'll get a look at how confident she feels with that shot, but it's not falling, at least this first time around. Here is Samantha Tatum among the trees, and that's too many steps. A traveling violation on Tatum. Have a really good showing from the Hardin-Simmons faithful. Just about a 4-hour drive down from Abilene. And for Redlands, had to fly out over here, but they've got some fans in the stands as well. Love to see that. Downs going to her left off the glass, and it drops in.
And this is what we're going to see. Two great offenses doing what they do best and putting points on the board.
Paris to Paris here. This time it's Paris Palmer who goes right, avoids the contact, and then can't make the layup. That was a good look for Palmer, one of the best in the conference and in the country. The Redlands catches a break there, and Pat Kalinawan setting up the offense here. Anderson goes away from the screen, pulls up, and drops it in. Good looking start for Aaliyah Anderson, and it's a 4-point Redlands lead with 6 minutes to go. Blizzard going right around Jerrier, and how about that for Natasha Blizzard? Going right at the back-to-back Conference Player of the Year when it comes to defense, but no fear for Blizzard there. Here's Jerrier on the other end, a matchup to watch, no doubt. Blizzard forces the ball away. It's swung to the other side of the court. Pat Kalinawan finds help in Jerrier, now on the near side. Bulldogs chanting the clock. Pat Kalinawan has to see it. Here goes the up and under. And it's good for Pat Kalinawan. So these Bulldogs are taking their time, using the entire shot clock, and then paying it off.
Yeah, and this is what they are good at. They have a great offense, and they really need to utilize it here against a stout Hardin-Simmons team.
Stout from the three-point line. They sure are. Paris Kaiser draws them within one. And the offense certainly clicking for both sides, shooting above 70% to start. We haven't had many missed shots. Here's Pat Kalinawan, the leader of the offense. Beautiful crossover move, and the mid-range, nothing but the bottom. This is setting up to be a fun one, folks. Not many are not going down. Palmer one-on-one. Alyssa Downs trying to get in her way, but will not. The bank remains open after 5 p.m. on a Friday. And it is 14-13 Redlands with 4 minutes left in the first.
Yeah, and we are being so smooth here with barely any fouls called. We're a minute past when we should have had a media timeout.
Don't tell these two teams. They are happy to keep going. Jerrier turning right, now has to give it up to Zorich. Zorich loses it, and here come the Cowgirls. Trying to go fast in transition. It'll be Kaiser over to Tatum. Now stepping into the lane. Finds Blizzard, takes her time, and that's two for Natasha Blizzard. Cowgirls back on top, 15-14.
And prepared to see a tug of war of who has the lead.
Double screen, middle of the court, ends up with Pat Kalinawan. Has Kaiser all over her. Now Jerrier, another mid-range look on the opposite side goes. And man, oh man, these are two teams who certainly love to score.
Yeah, it has been so smooth on offense right now. really need to look to the defense to perhaps step up, because whoever plays better defense in this game may decide it.
Pass intended for Blizzard gets away, and finally, 7 minutes and 3 seconds into the game, we have our first stoppage. Redlands 16, Hardin-Simmons 15. And if you didn't believe us when you tuned in that these are two of the best offenses, you have almost a full quarter of evidence now.
Yeah, and if you look at those stats, those are insane shooting percentages. 87% for Redlands, 85% for Hardin-Simmons. Ryan, I think we're going to have a very high-scoring affair here today.
The Hardin-Simmons Cowgirls average 79 points a game. That is not only the #1 mark in the American Southwest Conference, that is the 9th best in the entire country. Then when you look at Redlands, 68, almost 69 points a game, second in their conference, not as high up, but then you look at some of the percentages. Just take a look at the three-point rate, almost 36% from deep. That's the 8th best in the entire nation as well. So the numbers don't lie, and what we've seen don't lie either.
Yeah, and it has been a very exciting start, and it was just really beautiful to watch basketball being played with no stoppages. That might be the longest that we've had before a media timeout has been called here.
I agree. It was great pace, and both teams will look to keep it going. You have an eye on Coach Rich Murphy leading Redlands to a tournament that maybe folks around the country didn't expect them to be in. They were the #2 seed in the SCIAC over there in California, located mostly in the Los Angeles area, and they were the #2 seed of their tournament, going up against a Laverne team that had dominated all year. But what do the Bulldogs do? Well, they go in and win by 1 point, a thrilling victory to get them the automatic qualifier to the NCAA tournament. Laverne at home watching, and Redlands here in San Antonio looking to keep the magic going. Shot clock at single digits out of the timeout, so Kaiser has to go. She does. And for the first time in a while, a missed shot, but she takes care of that quickly. Gets her own miss and gets 2 more.
And once again, we have another lead change.
Offensive foul called on Redlands. Coach Whitehead loves to see that, as it gives the ball right back to Hardin-Simmons and does something they haven't done in a while, stop Redlands. Bulldogs getting ready to make a change. Natalie Bravo into the game for the first time. We also have Julia Balistreri, the senior. Both of these teams very much stick to their guns. You'll see substitutions here and there, but the starting 5 is what got them here, and what is hoping to get them far. But speaking of the bench, there is Kiki Gonzalez, the sophomore from Hermleigh, Texas. Gets 2 in her first minute of the game, and it's a 3-point lead for Hardin-Simmons. Around the screen goes Pakalinawan, now finds Anderson. The elbow look is good. Kaiser not wasting any time, finds Gonzalez again, straight at Balistreri, but her layup no good. Coach Whitehead says Gonzalez brings energy off the bench, and already she has with a make and a miss. So one way or another, something's happening when she's in the game. Screen by Balistreri, frees up Pakalinawan, and that is silky smooth for 2.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of lead changes. And right now, as we reach the final minute of the first quarter, it's going to be a question of whose offense is going to give way first.
Kylie Ellsworth trying to join the party, and she does. Both teams very much utilizing that backboard that is free to everyone. And Hardin-Simmons back up 1 with a minute to go in the first quarter. Pakalinawan has options as to who to go to with the screen. Now another gives her some space, hands it off to number 11, Bravo. Anderson to her left, stops and pops. This time the glass won't help her out. And Gonzalez trying to lead the charge before slowing it down just a tad. Kaiser nearly loses it and now sets up the offense slowly. Gonzalez again, spins around, and she'll be fouled.
Personal
Balistreri called for the foul. That'll be her first. Hannah Jerrier will check back in. Zorich will take a breather. Newly into the game as well, Layla Hosen, the first year from Seattle. But it'll be Kiki Gonzalez at the line. And we became quite familiar with her here on Tiger Network as her first free throw goes. She led the team with 11 points back when the Cowgirls faced Trinity back in November. It feels like forever ago. But she is one to watch for Kendra Whitehead and the Cowgirls. Second free throw, well short. She saw it but couldn't collect it. And here come the Bulldogs, down 2 with 20 seconds to work with in the quarter. They could choose to go with the final shot. Under 10 now, Anderson from 3. Tickles the twine with 3 more to add to her already stellar first quarter. Wilson's buzzer beater well off, and it'll be a 23-22 Redlands lead to end the first of a high-powered, fast-moving first quarter.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want if you're Redlands, is your offense to be red hot. They are shooting at 83.3%. That is insane. And Hardin-Simmons, they have a crazy 69.2% shooting rate as well. This has been a crazy amount of offense in this first quarter. And right now, it looks like neither offense is showing signs of slowing down.
And it really looks like what Coach Rich Murphy told me in our conversation this week. First, before I comment what he told me, want to thank all 4 coaches involved in this tournament for speaking with me before this exciting weekend we have on hand. And Coach Murphy was saying, look, we're going to score. We know that our offense is going to give Hardin-Simmons some problems. The question is, can we come up with big stops when we need them most to slow the game down a little bit on the other end? And I think right now we're seeing he was right on both fronts. The offense is there, the defense not quite.
Yeah, and if you look at this Bulldog run through the SCIAC tournament, they are never, ever out of it. They had to come back against Claremont Mudscripts in the semifinals, and even when Laverne came back against them in the finals, they stayed in it, they clutched it out, and this Redlands team, they sure create exciting games to watch.
And if you're Hardin-Simmons, you have to be a little concerned because in that game that they lost to UT Dallas to bump them out of the semifinals, UT Dallas shot 49% from the floor. That was their highest mark all year. The shots just kept on coming, and we're seeing a similar story for Redlands, that the offense not slowing down to start the second period. Hardin-Simmons back on top after that Parmer layup. And an offensive foul. That'll be the second time the Bulldogs called on a charge, and it'll give it back to HSU.
And every time the Bulldogs give the ball back to Hardin-Simmons, it's a chance for Hardin-Simmons to take a further lead, which is going to be very important with how fast-paced these offenses have been.
Blizzard sets the screen for Parmer. Now kicks it out to Tatum, who will take a trip to the lane before kicking it back out. Parmer, nice move around the defender, and an even better finish. So 2 possessions, 2 buckets for Paris Parmer. Last year's Player of the Year in the ASC. Not quite the Player of the Year, but still good enough for first team all-conference honors, and you're seeing why. Cross-court pass gets away from Natalie Bravo. And in this first minute, Hardin-Simmons pairing together a couple of stops with a couple of scores.
Yeah, and Hardin-Simmons, they're very experienced in the tournament. They're very experienced as a team, and you may see less passing mistakes like that from Hardin-Simmons than you may see from Redlands.
Nearly a block, but before then, some contact called against Redlands. Coach Murphy there at the bottom of your screen, not thrilled.
Personal foul, Redlands, number 4, Juliet Balistreri.
The foul goes against Balistreri again, and not a good sign for number 4 because that is foul number 3. So a senior leader will have to take a seat. First free throw, no good for Samantha Tatum. Another one of those senior starters. Both free throws off for Tatum, and Redlands catches a break. Jerrier, the nice move inside, the finish. And a great two-player move there between Anderson and Jerrier, basically isolating themselves on that side of the floor and pulling Redlands within one. But someone left Blizzard all alone, and you don't want to do that. 2 more for Natasha Blizzard.
And right now, Hardin-Simmons with that 3-point lead. We'll see how long they can keep it.
A collision sends 2 players to the deck. But it'll be a foul called on Samantha Tatum, who is getting ready to take a seat here.
Checking in for Redlands, number 10, Cheyenne Kalinawan.
Pat Kalinawan back in there. And we mentioned these teams like to go with their starting 5. Well, for Coach Murphy, 3 of his starters among the top in the country in minutes per game. He knows who got them here, and he knows who he wants to get them further. Right now, Hosen having a hard time at the point, gives it up to Pat Kalinawan, right back to Hosen, whose move will result in an offensive foul. So there you see an interesting dynamic. The graduate senior Pat Kalinawan giving it up to the first-year Hosen, and it'll be the 3rd offensive foul against Redlands early on.
And Hardin-Simmons, they really need to take advantage of how many times they're getting the ball from Redlands. They have a 3-point lead right now, but really any lead in this game isn't safe.
Here goes Kaiser. The pass caught by Blizzard. Trying to give it up. Instead, will take it herself. And she has been quite good at that. You could see the early intention on the face of Blizzard was to look for a teammate, but she was all alone in the paint, took on Jerrier once again, and earns 2 free throws.
Yeah, and right now, the Cowgirls have only committed 2 fouls compared to Redlands, who have committed 8. So right now, Hardin-Simmons at full advantage on that account.
First free throw good for Blizzard, who Coach Whitehead said just found a different gear at some point last year and has never looked back. And I think we saw it there. Initially looking to pass, but then said, you know what, I can take care of it. And she gets 2 free throws to show for it. So double digits already for Natasha Blizzard, the first in the entire game. And it puts Hardin-Simmons up 5 with 7:46 left in the second quarter. Pat Kalinawan can't rattle that one home, but Balistreri back in the game despite the 3 fouls, gets the putback to go. It was a nice fake and a nice idea, but the execution not quite right for Kaiser, who's called for the travel.
And we'll see if Redlands can take advantage of this possession and tie the game back up.
In case you were wondering, yes, the shooting percentage is still astronomically high. 80% for Redlands, 75% for Hardin-Simmons. But it's been some turnovers in this quarter, and there's going to be one there. Although, hold on a second, the officials not agreeing. Initial call was a backcourt violation, but was it tipped? They correct the call and say it was tipped, so it'll stick around with Redlands. Nice job by the officials getting together there and correcting what they felt was a mistake. So with 15 on the shot clock to start the possession new, Pat Kalinawan uses a screen from Balistreri, the roll, but not going to her, instead Downs. Jab step, put back, and a 3.
Beautiful 3 right there.
That looks like another travel, and it is. Hallie Edmondson called for the violation, and after the Cowgirls got quote-unquote comfortably ahead, up 5, it's all tied up again.
It is explosive offense city right now in San Antonio.
Downs loses it, so couldn't try it from the corner. Kiki Gonzalez checking back in for Natasha Blizzard.
Hardin-Simmons, number 24, Kiki Gonzalez, replacing 12, Blizzard.
And Paris gets it into Paris. All we're missing is Emily at this point. But what a connection these two have been. It'll be Paris Palmer. 3 way off, but Gonzalez there for the board. And is that foul number 4 on Balistreri? I think it is, and you can see the hands to the face immediately. She cannot believe with 6:15 to go in the second quarter, she has her 4th personal foul.
Yeah, and that is very troubling if you're Redlands, because Balistreri is such a key component to this Redlands team. To have 4 fouls this early on in the game, that is certainly not a good sign.
The 15 foul on Redlands will send Hardin-Simmons to the line. And you can see how much this loss will mean to Redlands. They're putting in Krista Carbon, the first year, who has not played since December 29th. Here we are in March, and Coach Murphy has to go to someone new because of those fouls. Perfect from the charity stripe is Gonzalez. Make it 4 points for her. So whether it's been Blizzard or Gonzalez, that 5 position really helping out the Cowgirls.
Certainly. And right now, if you're Redlands, we're going to see if they can be resilient and get the offense still red hot without Balistreri.
Pakalinawan circling around, now backs it out. We'll set up a new play. Goes the way of Downs' screen. Still with the ball is Pakalinawan. Never going to give it up. Instead, the shot no good, but look at the first-year fight. Rebound for Carbon, and she's fouled on the way up.
Way to come into the game and make a key play immediately.
And at first glance, it looked like Carbon was headed up, so she would have shot 2, but instead, the baseline pass on the way. And Redlands will get this possession going. Thought about it, now goes for it, but way off the side of the backboard there is Zorich. And the Cowgirls going in transition. Tatum gets the bounce pass. And an interesting little play there. Downs was out of the picture, but it looked like she messed up that motion just enough to force the miss. And the transition game hasn't been all picture perfect for Hardin-Simmons. Really the one area you could say has been a struggle on offense. Along the sideline is Carly Hicks, and make it another turnover for the Bulldogs. 7 of them now. So despite a 72% field goal percentage, they are down 2 because of those turnovers.
Yeah, and turnovers, they decide games. We've seen it time and time again.
Gonzalez, mid-range, not going to fall. Fight for the board, goes to Tatum. She goes around the corner. Still not falling for her, though. She's had a tough offensive start, 0 for 2, along with 2 missed free throws. Pakalinawan dumps it off, and it ends up with Zorich. Here is Carbon. Jumper, no good, and then Kaiser doesn't see the ball, so keep it with the Bulldogs.
And the Bulldogs have a chance here to tie the game back up.
Pretty interesting reads. We have to adjust, right, as broadcasters to what the game is giving us, and it's almost like we haven't seen so many missed shots in the first quarter that now that they are missed in the second, it's like, wait, hold on, what's going on?
Yeah, it almost reminds us that these guys, we're in the tournament right now. It's crazy right now. You know, they've just cooled off a little bit to just 68% and 60% respectively. The game is still very offensive, but you are right. Right now, it's been about 2 minutes since Redlands has scored, and about almost 4 minutes since Hardin-Simmons has made a shot. So we'll see if after this timeout they can get the offenses going again.
There's 4:40 left in this first half. Hardin-Simmons 32, Redlands 30. We're getting a look at Rich Murphy talking to his team, and it was Kendra Whitehead who shared a very similar message to Coach Murphy, saying, it's fun to talk about offense, and we talked a lot about their offense, but among the team, they never talk offense. They almost exclusively talk toughness and discipline on the defensive end. She thinks that is what will take them far. And it's really neat to hear both coaches individually sharing a very similar message about their squads.
Well, they say that defense wins championships. We'll see if it can win round one.
Pakalinawan dealing with Parmer, who's playing good defense to keep her outside the perimeter. Now Pakalinawan will step back from three. Little off to the side of the rim. Kaiser grabs the board. Hesitation move. Now Kaiser finds Parmer. Parmer's three on the way. Board loose. Goes to Carly Hicks, and then she's fouled. Cowgirls now 0 for their last 5. Bulldogs 0 for their last 4. Each team in a scoring drought over 2 minutes. Zorich drops it off for Alyssa Downs. The step back from Downs. Not going to fall. We saw her hit one of those. And then the loose ball leads to a held ball. It'll stay with the Bulldogs.
And the Bulldogs have had plenty of chances to tie the game back up or try and take the lead. We'll see with this held ball if they can make use of it this time.
Downs into Carbon, who is fouled immediately. Great acting job on her part. Foul goes against Gonzalez, so she'll head to the bench. Blizzard back in there. And Krista Carbon, the first year from Murrieta, California, playing for the first time in 2 months. Will shoot the free throw and can't bank it home. In fact, as a first year, she has never scored in her career. So what a time it would be for March Madness to lead to your first points. Can she get it on this free throw? Not quite. 2 free throws off for Carbon. And the lead remains 2 for Hardin-Simmons. Under 4 remaining in San Antonio. Blizzard sets a good screen, gives space to the layup. Kylie Ellsworth utilizing her teammate to perfection, and the lead is 4 for the Cowgirls. Ball gets away from Alyssa Downs. 8 turnovers now for Redlands.
And we're going to see Hardin-Simmons try and utilize all of these turnovers to extend the lead, because right now the biggest lead we've had is 5 points.
Offensive foul called on the screen set by Parmer.
Offensive foul, Hardin-Simmons, number 3, Paris Parmer.
Blizzard was confused because she didn't do anything wrong, and she was right. It was the screen that gave her space.
Number 2, Hallie Edmondson.
Now 3.5 minutes without points for the Bulldogs. Downs goes left. Doubled in the corner. Layup rolls off the rim, and here comes Sheree Wilson leading the fast break. Cowgirls love the movement into the paint off the screen, and the floater won't go. Getting her own miss is Edmondson, and she'll reset things for HSU. Back to the paint she goes. This time, the dish to Natasha Blizzard. Downs trying to get free, but you can see how on top of her the defense is. Wildly throws the ball, and they'll say it'll stay with Redlands. But the graduate senior from San Francisco, California, the all-time leading scorer for the Bulldogs. Point of attention number 1 for the HSU defense. Anderson steps in from the corner, tries to dump it off to Zorik. Now here's Downs with a little bit of room, steps back for room, but she'll be short. Board cleared by Anderson, and another three from Pat Kalinawan. Still not rolling down. Someone seems to have put a lid on the Redlands basket. HSU can't capitalize on the other end. And after very few missed shots in the first, we suddenly can build a house with all the bricks we're seeing in the second.
And right now, Redlands, they really need to get the offense back going because Hardin-Simmons, they're a type of team that can start to outrun you if you don't score.
Shot clock down below 10. And a foul. You should be able to hear the Hardin-Simmons faithful disgusted by that call.
Personal foul, Hardin-Simmons, in the job, Natasha Blizzard. Her first personal. In the bonus, Redlands.
Three free throws now missed by Carbon, who you can see is receiving some pats on the back from her teammates. She has not played since the 29th of December, trying to score her first point of her career. Still no, though, for number 34. Someone who may not have expected some playing time today has missed 4 free throws for the Bulldogs. Blizzard now trying to go at her defensively. Carbon wins, but the board for Hardin-Simmons. 3 still not going. Blizzard there to clean it up, and she'll try to take care of it at the line. So it's the little things right now, Reed. The free throws not being made by Redlands, the offensive boards being allowed to Hardin-Simmons, that is allowing the Cowgirls to slowly but surely extend this lead.
Yeah, and when you say slowly but surely, that's what this game is going to be, because right now both offenses kind of sputtering at the same time, but Hardin-Simmons is getting it going just enough to slowly extend the lead.
Blizzard connects on both her free throws, and she continues to lead the game with 14 points. It's an 8-0 run for Hardin-Simmons over the last 5 minutes. 5 minutes in which the Bulldogs have not scored at all. Pat Kalinawan looking for answers. She is met by Edmondson, has to give it up to Anderson, driving right in between 2, and that'll go for Anderson.
Off the basket, number 22, Aaliyah Anderson. Personal foul, Hardin-Simmons, number 1, Paris Kaiser. Her second personal.
Second foul against Kaiser. And Aaliyah Anderson, the first Bulldog into double digits, completes the three-point play. 11 points for the first year on a team full of experienced graduate seniors, the first year leading the way.
It's an interesting dynamic having the old guard and the young guns both on the floor at the same time.
Anderson guarding Sheree Wilson now. Wilson beats her to the bucket and puts it down for 2. About 10 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Pakalinawan now gets it going. Starla Murillo, first time we've seen her, gives it to Anderson, who then flings the ball away, saved by Zorik. But the Bulldogs have to go. Ball tied up, and it's a foul on Hardin-Simmons. Another one late in the shot clock that they can't believe.
And this will be big for Redlands because this is a chance to put points on the board before the half ends.
Her first personal. At the line for Redlands, number 32, Colby Zorik. Checking in for the Cowgirls, number 22, Aiken Simonis.
Aiken Simonis in for Samantha Tatum ahead of these 2 free throws for Zorik. The first year from Kenmore, Washington, who Coach Murphy says has succeeded because she didn't get entitled as a freshman who succeeded early. Although the free throws not falling for her or the Bulldogs right now. How about starting your career with 20 points off the bench? Well, that was certainly a wake-up call. Zorik has not been on the bench since, starting every game from that moment on. Gets that second free throw down and pulls Redlands within 6 with 13.7 seconds left in the first half.
And we'll see if Hardin-Simmons will decide to take the last shot of the half.
Ellsworth, the guard, uses the blizzard screen, but she lost the dribble and the ball's lost until Wilson recovers. Wilson pops it, but it's short. Halftime in San Antonio. Hardin-Simmons 40, Redlands 34. It was a blistering start in the first quarter from both sides, but things a little back down to earth. Still really high shooting percentages, but not the 80% we saw in that first frame. We knew it was going to happen. Now it's about which team will respond in the second half. Really exciting basketball we have here, Reed.
Yeah, it's been very exciting, and that first half went by in a flash. That was really fast. It's been quick pace of play, even when the offenses kind of sputtered out in the second quarter. And right now, it's looking to be a really good one here in Calgard.
They say time flies when you're having fun. Well, I'm having fun. I know you're having fun, and I hope you're having fun at home. Stay tuned to Tiger Network, just a 14.5-minute break, but we have great second half action after this.
I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.
Welcome back to Tiger Network. Hardin-Simmons 40, Redlands 34. And we know we have a big national audience today. And if you didn't tune in right on time, we'll set things back up for you. These are the Hardin-Simmons Cowgirls out of the American Southwest Conference. They went 23-3 during the season. They were a perfect 18-0 in conference play until a little tiny hiccup by the name of UT Dallas. The Comets going into Abilene and stunning the Cowgirls, but they were able to earn an at-large. They were in the top 10 most of the season, and so here they are despite that conference championship loss. On the other end, for Redlands, they were the spoiler. They were the number 2 seed in the tournament, beat a Laverne team that dominated the SCIAC throughout the season, and here they are after winning by 1 against Laverne, trying to play spoiler once again.
Yeah, and those were all very interesting games, especially for Redlands. Redlands, they love to play it close.
Natasha Blizzard continues to bring her storm in. The second half starts with 2 more for her, and she led all scorers, so it's only fitting that she continues to do so. 16 points for the senior. But you're absolutely right, Reed. Not only a 1-point win for Redlands against Laverne, how about a 5-point win against CMS as a foul called here against HSU? A game in which they trailed 20-7 in the first quarter. Talk about a gut punch at home against Claremont Mudscripts, but the Bulldogs were able to bite back, escape with a win, and then it set up that dramatic win over Laverne. So if there's one thing we know about Redlands, they are not afraid of the moment. Anderson's jump shot not going to fall. And here comes Hardin-Simmons. Samantha Tatum taps on the brakes to get it to Parmer. Now Edmondson thought about the 3 for a moment, trying to get a little closer to the basket, and it works out quite well for her.
And what this also tells us about Redlands is no matter how far down they are truly never out of any game.
For Edmondson, those were the first 2 points of the ball game. Alyssa Downs, relatively quiet in that first half, will need to get it going, and that's a good start for her. For the second straight year, all-conference first team. Paris Kaiser, also first team all-conference, not going to get her shot to go down. The loose ball will go to Redlands.
And the Hardin-Simmons crowd not happy with that one.
Last touch, Hardin-Simmons, Redlands ball.
Redlands takes over down 8 with 8.5 left in the third quarter. I guess it seems kind of obvious at this point, Reed, but it's still a surprise in the best way of the star talent we have at this point in the year. I mean, just first team, second team all-conference, everywhere you look, you know that we have the best of the best here. And Hannah Jerrier has been one of the best all year, but she holds on to the ball too long and will be called for 5 seconds to give the ball right back to the Cowgirls.
And this is what March Madness is all about. It's about the best playing the best in great games. And right now, this has been a very great game.
Samantha Tatum loses the dribble, has Anderson over her, so Kaiser will give it a go. A little step back, nothing but the bottom for her. Lead back up to double digits, and Kaiser reaches double digits, 11 points now. Here's Zorich, waiting for Downs to post up, able to get it to Downs, who is fouled on the reception attempt.
And, you know, in Division III March Madness, it's a lot harder to get in. There are about 42 automatic qualifiers from conference tournaments. It doesn't allow for a lot of at-large bids, so you're always certain to get a couple of champions in each pod, and you get really great matchups.
Downs had an opening, maybe a little late to get it to her, so the Bulldogs have to step it out. Downs now doubled, gets it to Pat Kalinawan. The three is pure for Cheyenne Pat Kalinawan. Parmer loses dribble. Bulldogs grab it. They haven't been very willing to run quickly, taking a lot of the shot clock, and it bites them back here. A travel called on Anderson. Missed opportunity to climb back in it for Redlands.
Yeah, and Redlands, they face a unique challenge of not having Balistreri on the court right now. She played a key part in both that semifinal game against CMS and that final game against Laverne.
Here's Hannah Jerrier against Natasha Blizzard. And finally, Jerrier able to win that matchup. She won the Defensive Player of the Year award for the second straight year in the SCIAC. Not many are better than her, over 2 blocks a game. Blizzard has not been afraid of her one bit, though. So that will continue to be a matchup to watch. Downs, covered by Kaiser, backing her down, now draws 2. But 2 are not enough right now to stop Alyssa Downs, who gets Redlands to within 5. Blizzard against Jerrier again, one-on-one. Blizzard spinning over Jerrier, but that's 2 in a row, won by Jerrier, and the foul heads the ball to the other direction. As we talk about the stars on these rosters, you start to discover the matchups that are really going to do it in the game. And it seems like 42 against 12, Jerrier against Blizzard, will be one to really decide this result.
Yeah, and they are both immensely talented players in their own right.
Too much on that one for Downs. Hardin-Simmons trying to run a little bit. Kaiser has to watch out from behind and now loses the dribble. Tatum takes over. Makes the defender miss and then finishes. Count the basket for Samantha Tatum, who got Zorich flying.
At the line for the Cowgirls, number 23, Samantha Tatum.
Free throw good to complete the three-point play, and the lead back up to 8 for the Cowgirls. Under 6 minutes left in the third quarter of this first round game. Pat Kalinawan uses the screen, gives it to Jerrier. Jerrier loses handle a little bit. trying to get it to Pakalinawan, but she's denied until now. Pakalinawan has to do something late. Zoric with the ball. Over the defender and through contact, says the officials. 2 free throws on the way for Colby Zoric.
And you see how tough they are starting to guard Pakalinawan. 12 points on the game so far. She is a very dangerous scorer for this Redlands team, and she was out and about in both of those SCIAC tournament games.
First free throw, no good for Redlands, and it was a story in that second quarter. In the first quarter, Redlands missed a total of 2 shots. In the second quarter, they made a total of 4, a very different story. But what really hurt them was going 2 for 7 from the free throw line, so the chances were there to stay in the game. But until that last make, the Bulldogs had missed several in a row. Zoric able to get that one to pull within 7 and let the coaches make some substitutions.
And it's very strange that they missed as many as they did because they're 22nd in the nation in free throw percentage.
It was one of the reasons they were able to come back against Claremont Mudscripts. They went 39 of 49. That is not a typo. 49 free throws attempted and 39 made in that 5-point win. Kaiser will get a pair herself. Draws the bump on the drive. So the made shots weren't letting us slow down very much in that first quarter. Free throws doing the work for us now in the third.
Yeah, and right now, Hardin-Simmons with that 7-point lead, it's still not safe. Redlands, their offense could explode at any time.
Kaiser has proven at UT Dallas and now at Hardin-Simmons that there are not many better, at least in the state, and if you want to argue even more, perhaps in the nation. She'll take a breather after 2 made free throws, and HSU up 9 with 5 minutes to go in the third. Loose ball, out of bounds. We'll stick around with the gray and red. Bulldogs desperately trying to get it to Alyssa Downs, but she is being smothered, so they put her on the inbounds. Right back to her. Neat little play, but they can't convert. Zoric, the offensive board, and another miss. So the Bulldogs had good looks there, just can't get it down. And the Cowgirls can get it back to double digits. Natasha Blizzard turns around, has room, but gives it up to Sheree Wilson now. The jab step, then the shot. Pure 3. On that possession, it was almost as if Redlands was baiting first Blizzard and then Wilson into shooting, and they said, okay, we'll take care of it. And it results in 3. Pakalinawan spins off the glass, not going down. And the board cleared by Blizzard. 3-on-2 for the Cowgirls. Running the break. Beautiful dish. 2 points for Sheree Wilson. And a timeout by Hardin-Simmons to soak in a 14-point lead.
You can hear the Hardin-Simmons crowd roar. And for Redlands, they're down, but this isn't unfamiliar territory for them. Their offense is their identity, essentially, and it is off and on. And right now, it is definitely off.
That good zoom out for the moment gave you a look at the purple and gold filling the stands in San Antonio. Mentioned just a 4-hour drive from Abilene. And it's an Abilene population that loves their Cowboys and Cowgirls. In Hardin-Simmons, always well supported. And when you look at this women's basketball program that has been resurrected by Kendra Whitehead, you're looking at her squatting down, talking to her team. She's in her 5th year leading the Cowgirls, has a 128 record as head coach, got her 100th win just a couple of weeks ago on senior night. And she came from UT Tyler before taking over at Hardin-Simmons. And it was a Hardin-Simmons team that had not won the conference since 2004, and they had not gone to the NCAA tournament since 2006. It took a little bit of time, had to develop the talent that she recruited, but now 5 seniors in the starting lineup for Kendra Whitehead, who is admittedly a little spoiled to have that experience, but she is very lucky to have it.
She definitely is. And it was great games against Trinity earlier in the year that we saw, and they are putting on quite the performance right now. I mean, those last couple of points, those were just absolutely beautiful plays.
When she took over, Hardin-Simmons had just gone with 6 wins. Her first year, the team won the first 7 of that season. It's been a remarkable turnaround and one that the Cowgirls hope will lead to a playoff win. Alyssa Downs' shot not working tonight. And the Cowgirls will try to extend their already largest lead of the evening. Edmondson with the ball, uses Blizzard, has Jerrier to beat, but that's a tough one to beat. Loose ball will stick around with Hardin-Simmons. A 7-0 run that the Cowgirls are on, and will now take a media timeout. Score still the same, Hardin-Simmons 56, Redlands 42. We've become very familiar with Hardin-Simmons on Tiger Network, and they have 3:40 left in this quarter, 10 in the fourth, to try to earn another matchup on this network.
Yeah, they want to continue dancing, and either matchup that comes out of the next game of the evening of Trinity and UT Dallas will definitely entice them to play on.
The way it works out in Division III, for whatever reason, and we know the reasons, often the money involving with the flights and the drives, but what it leads to is a Texas pod that is always stacked, right? You have the number 4 Trinity Tigers in this regional, and you have the number 12 Hardin-Simmons Cowgirls. Those are 2 top 15, top 12 teams that are going to have to do battle with Redlands and UT Dallas to face each other. But that's a matchup that you could easily see later on in the tournament, Sweet 16, Elite 8. But Hardin-Simmons not backing down from this Redlands challenge. Coach Whitehead said, hey, all we needed was that UT Dallas loss to not overlook anyone, and right now, not overlooking Redlands whatsoever.
Definitely not. And they're really putting the hurt on the Bulldogs right now. The Bulldogs will see if after this timeout they can get the offense together.
Edmondson will bring it in for HSU. Deflected by Pat Kalinawan, but it'll stay with the Cowgirls. Kylie Ellsworth, the ball handler, gives it up to Sheree Wilson, who has made quite the splash in this quarter. Can't get that one to go. Her own miss won't go again. And the Bulldogs able to finally clear the board as they try to get anything going offensively. A 7-0 run by the Cowgirls puts them up 14. But we know they can light it up in a hurry. Here goes Zorich off the glass and good. Ellsworth takes on Anderson. Can't roll it down. Anderson takes the contact, and the foul heading the other way.
And it's important to note that Redlands is in the bonus.
I think the officials were coming to that realization at the same time as you were, Reed. Keeping a hawk eye on that foul category. And with 2:56 left in the third quarter, can the Bulldogs take advantage of these free throws coming up?
Checking in for Hardin-Simmons. Number 1, Paris Kaiser, and number 3, Paris Harmon.
The French connection back in the game. Paris Kaiser, Paris Parmer. Point number 12 for Aaliyah Anderson. Now ties Pat Kalinawan for the team lead. A first year who Coach Murphy says, you will never tell how she's doing by the look on her face. She stays even-keeled, whether it's good or bad. That time it was good for Redlands. The lead down to 10 for Hardin-Simmons. Parmer turning the corner quickly and scooping it down for 2. She can make it look so easy. Jerrier patiently awaiting Pat Kalinawan. Her jumper rattles out. Palmer clears the board, and the Cowgirls off and running. The bounce pass to Gonzalez, stops on a dime, and finishes for two. Beautifully run fast break for the Cowgirls, and the lead back up to 14. Anderson can't get a hold of the pass, forces a held ball that'll stick it with Redlands.
Yeah,
but active hands everywhere right now for HSU.
Yeah, lucky break there for Redlands to keep that ball, because if HSU went down the court and got points, that could have been disastrous.
And here we go again with the confusion on the held ball, which if you're new to our audience, you weren't here last week for the conference championships, in which we decided to no longer call it a jump ball for that reason. They don't jump, so why call it a jump ball? It leads to so many questions on the court. Officials decide to keep it with Redlands, and they'll get a pair of free throws, but I just don't get it, Reed. Why don't they just jump?
Well, who knows? It just leads to confusion, and of course, that one game in the SCAC tournament where we couldn't decide who got the ball on a held ball. It's too much stress. But probably not as much stress as standing at the free throw line right now.
First one good for Zorich. Second one a little short. So a split trip, but the Bulldogs get the board. Jerrier fights for it. Zorich, wrap around, can't get it to Anderson. Right idea, and Anderson says good thought. The execution just not quite there.
And right now, Downs, one of the best free throw shooters in the nation, has not had a trip to the charity stripe. So Hardin-Simmons being very aware, maybe holding back just a little bit whenever she has the ball in her hands.
Kaiser tripped up, takes a hard fall, and the foul called on Redlands.
Personal foul, Redlands.
Hosen will draw that one.
Her second personal foul, 13 fouls.
You currently have 4 freshmen on the court for Coach Murphy and the Bulldogs. Goes to show just how bright the future is, but they want to make the future the present. Kaiser takes contact, and it's no problem at all. Kaiser taking command with 15 points, trying to catch Natasha Blizzard, her own teammate, for the lead, which for the Cowgirls is 15 with a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Hosen dribbling around, not finding anyone. Now Jerrier cuts past Gonzalez, kicks it to Anderson. Her jumper off the front of the rim. And the Cowgirls really threatening to run away with this one. Gonzalez straight into Jerrier. Can't finish, but she gets her own miss, and then a foul. It has been impressive how determined Blizzard and Gonzalez have been taking it straight into number 42.
Yeah, they are confronting the challenge head on, and right now they've been successful more than they haven't been. And that's why HSU has this lead right now.
Here goes Gonzalez again, right at Jerrier. She takes a tumble, and it'll be an offensive foul. We'll get a look at the replay. Went very quickly there, but it did look like Jerrier had her feet outside the restricted area, was in position. So good job by her. Anderson dribbles in, and that's an offensive foul right back at you.
Just trading fouls right now. And for Hardin-Simmons to go right at Jerrier, it just shows how the Cowgirls really like to take the bull by the horns.
And that was Sheree Wilson, yet another senior. She's someone who comes off the bench, but is a huge component for this Hardin-Simmons team. Drops it off to Tatum. Right back to Wilson now, and Gonzalez setting up inside, now sets the screen. Tatum comes and gets it. Paris Kaiser now, shot clock at single digits, her pass thrown away. Bulldogs have just about 10 seconds, but here comes Gonzalez from behind to strip it away. Cowgirls have to run quickly to get one final shot. Here goes Kiki Gonzalez all the way home, but it doesn't go, and she is beside herself. But she should not be upset. 4 rebounds, 7 points, a great game so far for Gonzalez. And for Hardin-Simmons, a 15-point lead heading to the fourth quarter.
And for Redlands, very familiar territory. We know that 15-point lead is anything but safe. Redlands at any moment, if their offense starts to turn on like it did at the beginning of the first quarter, they could be right back in it.
You see all smiles in the Hardin-Simmons huddle. And now you'll get a look at some of the replays from that last quarter. For Redlands, Coach Murphy saying, it's not really one moment that has defined the season. Rather, he would define the season with the word adversity. They had an assistant coach resign in the middle of conference play. 2 of their best players got COVID at one point, so they lost to Whittier, who was in last place of the conference on February 8th. Yet here they are down 15, but fully in this NCAA tournament game. And this is a game that means a lot for their super seniors. 3 of them that returned for a 5th year, and they returned for one reason only. They were mad at how last year ended. They fell in the conference tournament on the other side of the table that they were on this year. Instead of spoiling, they had their trip spoiled. And so those 3 seniors in Jerrier, Pat Kalinawan, and Downs, they wanted one more shot at the NCAA tournament. But they're not content with just being here. They want to move forward like they did in 2020, and it'll take a big comeback to do so.
Yep, and when we talk about comebacks, Redlands is certainly capable. They came back against CMS in just 1 quarter, and, well, there's 1 quarter of play left.
Blizzard going at Balistreri, who is dealing with 4 fouls, but plays great defense there to get the ball back for Redlands. Losing the ball and losing her balance is Layla Hosen. Sharp maroon tie there for Coach Murphy, but he is not liking what he's seeing. Kaiser loses the dribble, and that's going to be 3 seconds in the lane. The defense really solid by the first years right now in the game. Not easy to keep Kaiser off the board. Bravo backing into the lane, off the glass, not falling. Ellsworth, the rolling Blizzard. She wanted contact, and she'll get it. A late whistle, but it comes nonetheless.
Personal foul, Redlands. Number 4, Julia Balistreri. That is her 5th.
And that'll be 5 fouls on Julia Balistreri. So she is out of the ball game.
Checking in for the disqualified.
Someone Coach Murphy says just means so much to this team as a leader. Even when she can't be in the game, she is the biggest cheerleader for the Bulldogs, so very sorry to see her senior year come to an end like this. First free throw rolls off for Blizzard. You never know with COVID eligibility, but Balistreri may have seen her final play in her college career. Both free throws no good for Blizzard. Wilson tries to poke it away, but the Bulldogs still down 15. Trying to make it a game. Bravo in between 2 defenders, but everything but the layup. That'll be the finish, though, for Hosen. So a pair of first-year guards. Hosen, someone who will be the point guard of the future. Had a high ankle sprain earlier in the year that kept her out. Really prevented her from taking lead of the offense at times, but now in this playoff game, trying to come up big. Defense, another stop for Redlands, and here they come down 13. Hosen in possession of it. Downs denied the ball, so Redlands goes the other way. And Hardin-Simmons called for a touch foul. So 8 minutes to go. Redlands trying to climb from back down 13.
And right now, to me, Brian, the biggest story of the game has been Balistreri and those early 4 fouls taking her out of the game. The offense really hasn't looked the same since she's left the court.
Downs, mid-range between 2 defenders, won't go. Fight for the loose ball is a held ball. This time it should go to Redlands, apparently. So, again, you could have just jumped, but Redlands will keep the ball because of the possession arrow. Deep pass into Bravo. Now Downs has it. Bravo's 3 on the way. Rattles out. Board for Blizzard. And now the Cowgirls clear it. Edmondson down the full length of the court for 2. She had a full steam, and she did not stop until she got 2. Anderson's 3 off the side of the rim, no good. Loose ball out of bounds. It'll go to Hardin-Simmons. A Redlands offense that shot over 80% in the first quarter. You knew that pace wouldn't continue, but you didn't expect all the missed shots. Kaiser turns the corner, finishes through contact, and 1 on the way for Paris Kaiser.
Count the basket. Personal foul, Redlands, number 3, Carly Hicks.
Carly Hicks called for the foul.
Paris Kaiser.
And Kaiser has officially overtaken Blizzard for the point lead. And she'll just grow that with her 18th point to go along with 5 rebounds. You can see why Kendra Whitehead was so thrilled to receive a call from Kaiser saying, hey, I'm leaving UT Dallas. Do you think there's a spot on my team, on your team for me? The answer was yes. And on the other end, Hardin-Simmons draws the turnover. And it is all HSU right now, 18-point lead. And it doesn't look like the Bulldogs have much bark left.
Yeah, it's looking pretty grim if you're the Bulldogs right now. But still, don't count them out just yet. Because if this offense can find its pace and the defense can make good stops, they can be back in this game in a hurry.
Blizzard takes her time, and it pays off for 2 more. Tells Kaiser not so fast with that lead. They are just trading away a competition they'll be happy to have as the lead balloons to 20 for Hardin-Simmons. Downs draws the contact and the foul, so she'll shoot 2. But it has not been the night that Alyssa Downs wanted in what could be now her final career game with Redlands.
And Downs is just such a good overall player. As we see Downs at the free throw line, one of the best free throw shooters in the nation, 88.8%.
She gets that first one to go, but it's really been the matter from the floor tonight for Downs, who does get her 10th point, but she's 4 for 11, so not the percentage that she's used to. Second free throw goes down. Bulldogs down 18 with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Comets and the Tigers have both been in the stands, and you get a glimpse there at the top of your screen. The Trinity Tigers set to get ready for their matchup after this. A travel called on Sheree Wilson. We'll give it back to Redlands. A game that started with so much energy has grinded to a bit of a halt, a lot more fouls. Many more free throws that Redlands has not been able to take advantage of. Here goes Downs trying to salvage her career. Won't get the roll to go. The loose ball to Pat Kalinawan, also trying to salvage her career. And a foul will bail the Bulldogs out, keep it on this side of the court.
And right now, the other story has been the start of that game, because Redlands, they get out to a hot start. That's what their offense does. They're very on and off, and they were super on in the first quarter.
Pat Kalinawan, the wing three. No part of the rim touched. Shot clock has not reset. We'll see if the Bulldogs see it, but they don't have to. A foul will reset the shot clock. But when Pat Kalinawan misses the rim, may not be the Bulldogs' night.
Yeah, and the other part of that story is Hardin-Simmons to also start explosively. That's why they're at this point right now in the lead like they are. If Hardin-Simmons doesn't explode in the first quarter like Redlands does, we could be seeing a very different game.
Swing over to the corner. That three rattles home for Carly Hicks, trying to breathe a little life into the Bulldogs. Edmondson pass Downs into the paint, and there's contact there. So Hadley Edmondson has not been afraid to just grab hold of the ball and go all 90 feet down the court.
Yeah, and that's what makes this Hardin-Simmons team so scary if you are the opponent, because they have pure confidence, they have ice in their veins, and if they want points, they will go and get points.
This time Edmondson gives it up to Blizzard. Now Simonis with the ball. Right back to Blizzard, driving baseline. The dump off to Wilson won't work, but there to clean up the mess for everyone is Aiken Simonis. At this point in the game, Redlands needs everything to go their way, and they cannot give up those offensive rebounds on missed shots. Hardin-Simmons back up 17 with 4.5 to go. The pass over to Pat Kalinawan. Wilson meets her there, so she goes over. Foul on the loose ball will keep it with Redlands. But those were the types of shots that were falling left and right for the Bulldogs in that first quarter, and they have not found the bottom of the bucket since then. Only 54 points, down 17 with 4:20 to go heading into this media timeout.
Yeah, and the ball is just not rolling the way for the Bulldogs. And for Hardin-Simmons, you can see they've sat there at 55% for a while, but Redlands, they've fallen down to 43% for their field goal percentage. And Hardin-Simmons, you know, they're nationally ranked. They were most likely the favorites coming into this one. And Redlands, the offense has just not been really on. They're looking to find that light switch, turn the offense on, and start scoring like they did in the first quarter. But right now, it's off.
We've mentioned it throughout the broadcast, right? Those games against CMS, against Laverne, where there were big runs either way. But I wanted to dive into what led to those runs and really trying to push Coach Murphy on that. And he said, I don't quite know, but all I can tell you is that, for example, in that game against Claremont Mugscripts, he had to call a timeout and tell his very young team, just calm down, take a breath. You're going to make your shots eventually. Just stay defensively energized, and good things will start to happen. And so right there in that timeout, you saw him on a knee talking to his squad. Still 4:20 to go, trying to get 3 super seniors. Another playoff win in 2020. They went on the road and defeated number 8 Wisconsin Whitewater in Wisconsin. And that is something they've been talking about. The first free throw rolls out for Jerrier. But they said they have absolutely talked about that because it was something he wanted to give them confidence. Those super seniors were there for it. Jerrier among them. Misses both free throws, but Alyssa Downs gets it back. Pat Kalinawan with the ball. Nice dribble move, pulls up from mid-range. But like it has failed to do all second half long for Cheyenne Pakalinawan, the magic touch not there. Zorich called for the foul, although the officials will talk it over here.
Fouls on Zorich, her third personal, fourth team foul.
Nothing changes though, third personal on Zorich, fourth team foul. Now Redlands going with a full court press. Simones loses the dribble, has to find Edmondson. Uses a Gonzalez screen, but then flings it away. Wilson can't grab hold of it.
Ball out of bounds. Redlands ball.
Here comes Downs around the screens. Clanks off the rim. Gonzalez clears the glass. And Gonzalez ran the floor in the first half. She does again, and this time gets it to go. That is a 5'10 center rumbling down the court and putting Hardin-Simmons back up by 19.
And Hardin-Simmons, this is a very commanding lead right now. The chances for the Bulldogs is getting slimmer and slimmer.
Downs, another clanker. The board goes to Zorich, and she is able to get the putback to go. But for Alyssa Downs now, so you'll get a look at that replay leading to the foul. Make that the missed three. You're just not used to seeing that from Alyssa Downs, the all-time leading scorer, over 1,600 points as a Bulldog. First team all-conference for the second straight year. Really, from the moment she stepped foot on Redlands campus, she made some magic happen. Jerrier able to clear the board among three. Downs over to the first year, but she loses balance and thinks she might have lost the ball, but the officials will talk it over. It'll stay with Redlands after the discussion.
Ball out of bounds. Redlands retains possession.
So Downs will bring it in. She's someone who has never averaged fewer than 14 points, even as a freshman. Just lights out from the get-go and has not been out of the starting lineup since. But you could tell Hardin-Simmons made it a point to focus on her, and they have kept her relatively quiet. A block by Simones, and here come the Cowgirls in transition again. Simones stops it, gives it to Sheree Wilson, the dump off to Edmondson, and the Cowgirls are riding their high horses tonight. A 19-point advantage with under 2 to go, and the purple and gold in the stands making all sorts of noise. The three scatters off for Pakalinawan. Jerrier gets a taste of her own medicine, blocked again down there by the Cowgirls. Bulldogs recover and a spin with the finish there for Hicks. But Hannah Jerrier, who is among the best in the country blocking others, has not been able to register many herself and had her own shot rejected.
And HSU has just turned the script on the game. They have really targeted the best players for Redlands and have just completely shut them down at what they do best.
At the line for Hardin-Simmons, number 25, Sheree Wilson.
It'll be free throws the rest of the way for Hardin-Simmons. Sheree Wilson will get these two. As Coach Murphy puts in Leah McKinney for the first time. Bravo and Hosen out there as well. And if this is the last time we see Hannah Jerrier, Cheyenne Pakalinawan, and Alyssa Downs, what a career they have had. You can see Downs wiping tears.
Number
A beautiful moment there. 3 fifth-year seniors who have stayed at Redlands to play more basketball, and they have done amazing things as Bulldogs. Always sad to see careers end right there.
It really is, and it's clear that they see the writing on the wall. We're probably not going to get a game that ends with many free throws.
Second free throw, not going to bounce in for Wilson. But Coach Murphy said he wasn't sure for a long time if his 3 super seniors were going to come back. It was a complete toss-up. In fact, he recruited very hard, assuming that they were not going to come back. But then Hannah Jerrier said, I'm coming back. And that changed everything because it made Pat Kalinawan and Downs think it over a little bit. They took their time, held Coach Murphy at the edge of his seat. But then they all 3 decided to come back, and Coach Murphy said, well, now I have a huge roster, bigger than I'm used to, but I will never be mad at having his 3 super seniors back. So again, congratulations to those 3 graduate seniors for the Redlands Bulldogs. Meanwhile, Coach Whitehead also gives her starters and her key reserves some time to rest. As the first free throw bounces out for Carly Hicks. 1:07 to go, and Hardin-Simmons took command of this game in the second quarter, and they haven't looked back. Jenna Schmidt, Krista Carbon in there. But now we get to look ahead. Hardin-Simmons will face the winner of UT Dallas against Trinity. It'll be a rematch either way, either a fellow conference foe or a third matchup with the Tigers. Simones gets 2 more for good measure. But the Cowgirls now in the envious position of getting to enjoy a win and await their next opponent.
Yeah, they'll await their next opponent. And on those super seniors coming back, in Division III, there is no scholarships. There are no incentives. They come back for the love of the game, the love of the team. And it's always so powerful when you see people coming back.
Personal foul, Hardin-Simmons, number 30, J.K. Roberson. Her first. At the line for Redlands, number 34, Krista Carbon.
Another missed free throw for Carbon, who again has some taps on the shoulder, looking for a big point here. And it drops in there. Redlands bench goes wild. The first career point for the first year from Murrieta, California. Krista Carbon, congratulations to her. But right now, a standing ovation from the Hardin-Simmons fans. Clock is going to tick off. And it is only fitting in San Antonio, home of one of the most famous rodeos, that the rodeo will continue for the Cowgirls. For the first time since 2006, the Cowgirls are victorious in the NCAA tournament. The ovation dies down just a little bit, but the smiles will not, as Hardin-Simmons wraps up a 77-60 victory over Redlands, and they are moving on to the round of 32.
Yep, the Cowgirls get to keep dancing, and they will await a tough opponent no matter who comes out of that Trinity UT Dallas game. And congratulations to Redlands. A great season. Has to end here, though, as even though it was a great game, there can only be one winner.
Paris Kaiser finishes with 18 points, the same as Natasha Blizzard. They were the 2 in double digits, and they were the 2 that dominated. But don't forget, you see her right there on that last highlight, Kiki Gonzalez with 9 points off the bench, along with 6 rebounds. She always tends to bring the energy, and she did so tonight. So the Hardin-Simmons Cowgirls moving on, and they await the winner of what we have next, UT Dallas against Trinity. You won't want to miss a second of it, and You won't want to miss anything here on Tiger Network because after about 10 minutes, the teams have a chance to cool down. We will have the post-game press conferences live on Tiger Network, so you'll hear from both teams, both the losing team and the winning team. There you have the setup. That's where we'll have the coaches and the players. So stick around for more on Tiger Network. For Reed Rosales, I'm Brian Jenselson. Thanks for joining us.
I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.
Paris, you want to talk super loud?
We have to talk super loud? Oh, me? Oh, that's not a good
You
thing.
want to talk? You can
I'll
talk.
say I can talk.
Okay.
She's pumped.
Yeah, she was pumped. She said, "Ooh, Redlands." Sorry, yeah.
It's okay. Chad definitely didn't tell me like the day of. Oh yeah, Silas, we're gonna do the post game interviews. It's like, oh. At the SC tournament. I was like,
Last year.
no, like last week at the SC tournament.
Oh,
He was like,
oh.
you're gonna do them. Like, cool.
Ready? We're here with the Hardin-Simmons Cowgirls, who just defeated Redlands 77-60. We have Natasha Blizzard to the left, Coach Kendra Whitehead in the middle, and Paris Kaiser at the right. Open it up for any questions.
First off, you didn't know very much about Redlands, so coming out, the size advantage was against you, right, Natasha? But worked out in their favor. You caught them on a lot of fouls in the paint. Kind of talk about your attack in the paint today.
Yeah, we knew that we didn't have the size advantage, but we just had the mentality of not backing down, trying to go right around them, getting them up in the air, and just seeing if we can get some foul calls.
And just a dominant performance by both of you guys, having, I think, like 18 each. Just talk about what worked and what didn't.
I think we were just adaptable. Sometimes we took it in the paint, then we had guards that were on the outside, so just being able to attack inside and then also having guards that were attacking on the outside, I think that just worked out in our favor.
Yeah, and I think we figured that, they would take away our three-point shots, and so we knew, from the jump, that we wanted to be aggressive and get downhill and kind of see what they were giving us, and I think we took advantage of that, so.
Coach Whitehead, I know you and I talked before the matchup that defense was going to be so important. You weathered a storm early. They shot over 80% in the first quarter. What changed defensively?
I thought our kids actually had great effort in the first quarter, as they did throughout the whole game. That was what I just told them in the locker room. I was most impressed with their aggressiveness, their intensity, their ability to switch quickly and communicate on defense. I honestly just think that first quarter that Redlands was hitting hard shots, and some of them were very late in the clock where we'd done all the work for 27 seconds, and then they kind of pull up over our head and hit a really difficult shot. Thankfully, we just kind of weathered the storm and continued to fight through, and we were able to get some stops later on.
And you've also said Natasha Blizzard really found another gear last year. While she found it early against one of the best defenders, what did you see in her performance?
Oh, Tasha's a beast, but she's been doing that the whole season. It's not ever a surprise to me anymore. I mean, she's well past that. She is a dominant post player, and she can be physical, she can be quick, and then I don't know if you even noticed, but one time she got switched off on the point guard, and she can guard her at half court too. So it's really fun watching her play.
Either way, a rematch on the way, either UT Dallas or Trinity. What will you be watching in the stands for this game?
Really just kind of both ways. They're very different, which is kind of ironic because they're kind of from the same, place, with Joe having worked for Cam for so long. But, Trinity's kind of bread and butter right now is the press, and then Dallas is big and physical. So watching the two of them match up in those different ways will be really interesting to see kind of how that works out.
I really got to see the Cowgirls in their prime in the second half that I see all season long, just having fun out there, playing smart, playing good defense. How great was it to just come away with this win and really just raise the rematch tour that we've talked about?
I think it's what we needed coming off of this last weekend and this whole weekend practice. I think we've been pumped and really eager to get back on the court, and so I don't know, I think we should just ride the wave of where we are right now and carry us over in tomorrow, and yeah, I don't know, I think it's gonna be fun.
The snowball, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, revenge tour.
Paris, I know you're with a new team and doing the same thing you were doing last year with UT Dallas. How does it feel to do it for the purple and gold?
It's amazing. I really have been enjoying it here, and just all my teammates and Coach Whitehead, it's been awesome, and yeah, it's just that's all I have. It's amazing, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else and play with any other girls. So yeah.
Now I have to ask, because it's too much of a coincidence, Paris Kaiser, Paris Parvard. How much fun do you have with that kind of connection?
It's fun. Yeah, I go by PK. Paris is Paris or PP, but yeah, it's a fun time, and it's kind of it's unique, but we have fun.
It's funny because she's my third Paris to coach, so it's a unique name, but I've run across several of them already. That's pretty fun.
Coach Whitehead, I know you don't know who you play yet, but you know both teams very well. You played UT Dallas 3 times this year, Trinity twice. We talked about it the first week, but just go back over it. Tell me what each team has strength and weakness-wise for going into tomorrow.
Right. Well, we'll start with Trinity. You know, it's been a while since we've seen them, but of course we've kind of followed them throughout the season and as they've dominated the SCAC. But they're a veteran team. They've got a strong core. They press and make you make mistakes, and they let that turn into offense for them. They can score it in a lot of different ways, so they kind of speed you up, and so that's kind of their strategy, and something that we'll have to work toward, beating the press if they're our matchup. And then UT Dallas, like I was saying before, they're just really physical. They'll slow you down a little bit when you're trying to push and transition. They run a lot of set plays and different actions, and then they have players that can kind of score one-on-one. So that was what we struggled with last week. We allowed them to be too comfortable and take us one-on-one too many times. They played tough, and so they're different, but in a way they're similar, because at this point everybody that you play is really good, and they're going to have a difficult strategy or scheme that you have to try to figure out how to beat.
Just getting to the second round this year, what has it felt, after last year at home, getting upset to coming here down to San Antonio and getting to round 32? Tell me about it.
Honestly, it's just an amazing feeling. It's a feeling that none of the girls on the team has experienced. So for all of us, we're just so happy to be in this next round of the tournament.
Yeah, I know, obviously I wasn't here last year, but they're always talking about it, and they've always kind of talked about this moment and wanting to get, past, this first round. And so I've just kind of jumped on that, and I've gotten just as excited, and yeah, I'm for them, and we're for each other, and so, yeah, it's been really cool.
And I would just like to say, because I haven't really had a chance with the questions, but congratulations to Redlands. They're a quality opponent. We were certainly concerned about the things that they did, seeing them on film, and they have some players that are really, really hard to stop. They're just so good. So congrats to them on a great season and a great battle today. But I'm just really proud of our kids, and I've felt like they were good enough to win a tournament game, and I'm so happy that they got to experience it, because they put in the work, they do things right. These guys are in the gym extra when we're not even asking them to be. They're taking care of themselves, eating right, doing all those little things, and I'm so glad to see it pay off.
Congratulations, Hardin-Simmons, Natasha Blizzard, Coach Whitehead, Paris Kaiser. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we're here with the Redlands Bulldogs. Just fell to Hardin-Simmons 77-60 in the first round of the NCAA tournament. We have Cheyenne Pakalinawan to the left, Coach Rich Murphy in the middle, and Alyssa Downs to the right. Coach, I want to start with you. I know how important this was for your 3 super seniors. You have 2 of them here. What is your message to them?
Oh, I mean, the fact that they came back and got the chance to do this means a lot. You know, this is probably the most stressful season I've ever had, just to be honest with you, because I wanted it so bad for those 3 that every game was it was stressful for me. And having them come back and do it meant the world to me. And the fact that they kind of got screwed last year, you know, not making the tournament, made it feel even better to get them back here to take over for what they missed last year.
Alyssa, first from you and then Cheyenne. I want to hear what brought you back for a 5th year and how much does it feel that it's worth it, even after a loss like that?
Yeah, excuse me. I definitely came back for unfinished business, like what Murph said. We got kind of screwed over last year, didn't make the tournament. We had a successful conference season, but yeah, I love basketball, so I wanted to come back for a 5th year, and I think knowing and getting to know the recruits, I think I was a big help in the recruiting process. I got to know them beforehand, and from that experience, I was able to build such a little relationship, but that was so meaningful for me, and I definitely wanted to come back for those freshmen so I can teach them how we do things in Redlands and bring them to the national tournament, which we did, and getting them to have this experience is once in a lifetime. Hopefully not for them, but it's a great opportunity for them to take that and bring it forward to the next recruits and the next girls that come into the program.
No, yeah, same. Like what Liz said, I came back for unfinished business because of the loss we had last year. And just to add on to what she said, even though we lost today, I thought this whole season and coming back was worth it because we accomplished so much with such a young team. And even though the game today was bittersweet, I'm proud of everybody, no matter what the outcome was. So I don't regret coming back at all.
Coach, it was a blistering start in the first quarter, over 80%, but then the shots weren't falling as much the rest of the game. What changed from Hardin-Simmons defensively that led to that?
They stayed aggressive the whole time, and I thought we got really good looks the second half. I mean, shots that we normally take and make. So I think we got worn down maybe a little bit in the second half, but to be honest with you, to me, it was just about not making the shots that were there. That's all. I mean, we hit those shots. This is the worst we've shot in a game free throw wise too. You know, this is the worst. So that didn't help. But to me, it was just we had good looks. Shy, Liz, everyone out there had really good looks. They just didn't fall. And that's basketball sometimes. Sometimes in the first quarter, you're going to hit everything you throw up. Sometimes in the second half, you don't make as many as you want to. So.
Julia Balistreri, another senior on your team, not in her 5th year, but I know she's very important to your squad.
Yep.
Had a lot of fouls early on. How much did that change what you were hoping to do?
Oh, it changed a lot. I mean, they put fouls on our post right away. You know, Hannah Jurier had 2 right away. I had to put a kid in, Krista Carban, who we love as a freshman, has played a total of 4 games this year. You know, and for those fouls to go the way they did, that I had to put her in, which she did a freaking wonderful job, you know. But that kind of changed things that we do, and it made it a little more difficult for us to continue what we were doing with those fouls that got thrown at us.
Alyssa, it's no secret how much of a weapon you are offensively, and Hardin-Simmons really keyed in on you. What were you feeling that they were doing that kept you off of the box score like you're typically doing?
Yeah, they were really aggressive. They always knew where I was on the court. They hedged really hard on me. Just made sure they knew that their presence was felt. And I did feel that. Nothing that I'm not used to. I get pushed around and beat up in conference all the time. So I just had to settle in. You know, the nerves of the NCAA tournament kind of got to me a little bit. I forced shots, rushed shots too much. But once I settled in, I started knocking them down. But unfortunately, it didn't hit enough to win the game. But it's okay.
Cheyenne, what do you think your legacy and the legacy of the 3 super seniors who came back will end up being at Redlands?
I think that the three of us on the team, I think our grit, our passion has rubbed off on all of the younger players, and I hope that they continue that legacy these next 4 years. So, yeah.
Coach, I know you have such a young team.
Yeah.
How valuable will this end up being, and what can Bulldog fans expect for years to come?
Oh my goodness, I think it's gonna be really valuable. I told them in the locker room that it's thanks to these three how much they grew. You know, with the leadership that these three provided for them, they learned how to grow this year. You know, I think some of them kind of came in going, oh, we're in the national tournament. Oh, okay. You know, and I don't think they fully realized how hard it is to get here. You know, 16 years for me, we've been here 3 times. And we want to continue that. And I think these young kids, I hope they realize how much work needs to be put in, because these three have put in the work for 5 years. I mean, they have put in the work. They've been in the gym. They have worked their tail off. And if they can follow those examples, I think they're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay. We'll get back. I don't doubt that one bit. I don't know when, but we're going to sneak and get back. You know, it's kind of hard. You know, when, like I said, we're in the West like that. It's difficult. Because they took only 2 teams from our side. They took us and Whitman, and that was it. You know, Laverne had a phenomenal season. They should have been here. Puget Sound had a phenomenal season. They should have been here. But it's kind of sad that they kind of leave those 2 quality teams out of it, and then they don't get those opportunities that we got. We're just grateful that we got it. I wish they would have got the same opportunities.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to the Redlands Bulldogs, Cheyenne Pakalinawan, Coach Murphy, Alyssa Downs. Thank you for your time.
You bet. Thank you. All right, get back to that game. Sorry we held you up.